What's going on, everybody? This is the Daily Fantasy Show brought to you by DFO. It is Sunday, December 3rd. On this NFL Sunday, we got a nice little 4-game slate going on. Hopefully, you're sweating some NFL, and you can get away from that sweat for a couple minutes to watch some hockey. Yeah, I didn't do too well last night, but, Habs scored 10. Whoa. And the top line didn't do diddly. So, 4-game slate, 2 7 o'clock starts, 2 8 o'clock starts. Let's jump right to it here. I got an NFL sweat going on a little bit. I made a mistake, though. Rookie mistake. I stacked the Jets, but I didn't, use Tyreek Hill on the other side. Use Stephon Diggs instead, and that's probably going to cost me a lot of cheddar. But I don't care. You learn from your mistakes, right? So let's go to the first game of the night. We have the LA Kings traveling to Chicago to face the Hawks. The Hawks are on a back-to-back. No one is confirmed yet, so that's fun. Might be Berube for Chicago. Might be Forsberg on a back-to-back. We will see. So, let's talk about LA first here. I like both of the top lines here for the Kings. I just wish they were together a bit more. I almost, because it's a short slate, you kind of can get a little creative here. I kind of want to just go like Kopitar, Toffoli, Muzzin, and do that. Because Chicago on a back-to-back could be their third string goalie. So, dehydrated, I don't know why. I just, I want to have some Kings exposure. You want to go Doughty, that's fine. You want to go Muzzin, that's fine. I prefer Muzzin a little bit. I mean, if you have the extra money, Doughty's fine as well. Obviously, Kopitar is one of my favorite center plays tonight. Actually, there are a couple I like more, but I think, he's going to go up against Hayes, which is okay. That definitely puts the Patty Kane line in play for me. We'll get to that in a second. I don't mind, going against Hayes. I think he's a tad overrated. So for me, I want a power play exposure to the Kings here. I don't really like how the lines are put together. I wish Kopitar was in between Toffoli and Pearson, and they can just pray until Carter comes back. But for me, I'd go Kopitar, Doughty, Muzzin if I'm going to use, what's up, Gabrick? What about Gabrick? Is Gabrick up top? Gabrick's with Kempe and Trevor Lewis. I do like the Kings power play one stack here. For me, if I'm going to do this here, I'm probably going to go Kopitar, Doughty, and Muzzin, or like Toffoli, Pearson, Muzzin, or something like Kopitar, Toffoli, Doughty, something like that. Like if you want to use the top line, okay, that's cool. Like you want to use Brown, you want to use Iafallo. I want power play exposure here. This should be a pretty rough game from the Hawks. They kind of jump out early. I don't know. This is a Sunday narrative. They kind of jump out early Sundays, and then they just kind of fade to black. But I don't really like how the Kings or lines shape up at even, so I definitely want some power play exposure there. On the Hawks side, Chicago 2 is definitely in play for me, if you want to call it the second line. Because Doughty's, or excuse me, Kopitar's been going up against Tays. That leaves Nick Shore up against, the Anisimov line, Anisimov, Kane. I think that's one of my top lines tonight. I'm not sure who's going to be in net for the Kings. I would assume Johnny Quick. I still want some exposure to Chicago too here. It is Quick. He's confirmed. For whatever reason, my sheet didn't update to confirm him. Thank you. You guys rock. So, yeah, I mean, that doesn't really bump down Chicago 2 for me. I'll be less apt to use Chicago 1. Going up against Kopitar and Brown. I can't believe I just said Brown is good, but he's decent defensively. For me, if I'm going to use Chicago, I want the Chicago second line. I want Gustav Forsling or Duncan Keith. Really, that's about it. Maybe Cody Franson if you want to go there as well. But Brent Seabrook doesn't really do too much for me at this stage in his career. In net, if you're not using, hold on. I don't know about Quick really. Yeah, if you're not using the Hawks, I don't mind Quick in a GPP. I mean, there's only 8 goalies going tonight, so who's really a better play tonight? Hellebuck? Maybe that's about it, really. All the other goalies don't really interest me. If you're going multiple lineups, yeah, Subban's not in a terrible spot. Really, like, Bernier, you want to use Bernier? Is he confirmed? It's just, the goalie's kind of a mess. So if you're not using Chicago, I think Quick's in play. Yeah, it is Bernier. Do you want to use JF Parouve if he's in? It'll be his first action in the NHL this season. I'm not sure. Anton Forsberg on a back-to-back. Both are a little tricky situations, I guess, because there's only 8 goalies. You got to, maybe have some exposure there. But personally, I'm not a fan of it. So let's move on to the next game of the night. We have the Ottawa Senators. Yeah, we'll get to Wedgwood in a second here. We got the Ottawa Senators traveling to Winnipeg to face the Jets. It's going to be Connor Hellebuck against Mike Condon. Is this another day where Winnipeg 1 goes bananas? I don't know. I wish I knew. Then I can tell you. Yeah, I do like Winnipeg 1 tonight. I do like them a bit more than Winnipeg 2 tonight, but Connor is out. Perreault is up to the top line. He does provide some salary relief. He is a good player. He's really not a fourth-line player in this league. He could play top 6 for the Jets. That is interesting for me. Yeah, that could work. So, yeah, the Winnipeg Josh stack definitely plays well. I like Ehlers and I like Laine. I just like, Scheifele more than Brian Little, obviously. So, again, it's more of a preference. Winnipeg 1 did the damage on the power play last game. Winnipeg 2 actually played better at evens. Ehlers is a beast. He's one of my favorite players. Not super high on Brian Little tonight, but I think you can use either of those 2 lines. If you want to Josh stack him and leave Little off and use like a Josh Morrissey, I think that's in play as well. He had a really good game last time. He's 3,400 still. Tyler Myers is in play as well. Trouba and Bufflin are the more expensive options. I'd probably go Trouba before Bufflin, but push comes to shove, I'd probably go with Josh Morrissey as my top option. On the Ottawa side, I'm not really a fan of Ottawa tonight. I know they kind of like broke out a little bit last game. I like Stone and I like Hoffman, always, but yeah, that's probably what I should have just said. Just play the Jets. play Wild Bill, play Marcia Salt, end show. But, I'll try to talk about it a little bit here. Yeah, I don't mind Broussard. I just wish he shot the puck more. He's like, that dude just like donuts more than any other center in the league when you need him. I don't mind that line. Broussard, Stone, and Bobby Ryan. Duchesne's with Hoffman. But there's, I'm like, this slate is like so like compact and strange that, Erik Karlsson's been disappeared for the past 5 games. Maybe he breaks out. Hellebuck is like one of my favorite goalie plays tonight, but it kind of scares me because Ottawa can just like go bonkers. Duchesne, center, power play 1. So again, like, I want all the Winnipeg, and if I'm going to use Ottawa and I'm not using Hellebuck, I think I'm going to have power play exposure to Ottawa just because this is another team I don't really like at evens. I want like Duchesne, Hoffman, Stone, and Karlsson if you can get creative and fit it. All in all, like I don't mind the second line. I think you can use them if you're not using Hellebuck. I like the second line as a whole. Broussard, Stone, and Bobby Ryan. Also, the top line isn't too bad. I mean, I'm not a huge Zach Smith guy. But again, my preference would be, power play action, then Ottawa 2, then Ottawa 1. In net, I think, the Jets are probably going to be in a pretty chalky spot tonight. They were really chalky last time out. They put up 7 goals. I don't see ownership going down. The slate is a third of the size, basically. So, I mean, I'm not thrilled about using Mike Condon, but if you want someone at low ownership and, hope that he wins, I think you can't really cross too many things off in GPPs on a 4-game slate. You got to, keep an open mind. If this was a, 7, 8, 9, 10 game slate, I'd have no interest in Mike Condon tonight. But just because it's a 4-game and Winnipeg's clearly going to be massive chalk, I think, I wouldn't go all in on Mike Condon for sure. But if you're making 20 lineups, I'd probably have a little exposure. I'm not sure how Winnipeg. I don't know if Winnipeg hard matches. It's gonna be interesting to see how, if they put out Scheifele against the top line, which line they consider the top line for Ottawa. Hellebuck at 8,200. Like, I want to play him, but that's just too expensive for me. I'm probably gonna go somewhere else. I don't even know what I'm gonna do. Haven't decided what I'm going to do in goal yet. I have a pretty decent idea what I'm going to do on offense, but I don't know what I'm going to do in that yet. I used Bob yesterday. That was kind of dumb. So, yeah, like, I don't know if Winnipeg's going to hard match. We have to see, as they get into the game, who Winnipeg thinks is the Ottawa top line. I think because their lines are so jumbled, it's going to be interesting to see. So let's move on to the third game of the night. We have Arizona Coyotes traveling to Vegas to face the Knights. I would too. It's going to be Scott Wedgwood going back-to-back against, more than likely, Malcolm Subban. I really like, the Karlsson, Marchessault, Riley Smith line. And it's not a secret anymore, but I still think he can go there. I think, Marchessault's probably, push comes to shove, for his price, for his what he does. I think he's my top wing play tonight. Riley Smith is still relatively cheap at 5,000. I think, you definitely have to have some exposure to Vegas too. I guess they're Vegas 1 now. They're definitely the top line. Let's just say that. Wedgwood on a back-to-back horrifies me, especially that Arizona traveled. Not that it's a far plane ride to Vegas. I know he had a shutout last night, and I said, play him because of the salary, but maybe you can do it again tonight. But for me, I'm going to have some heavy exposure to the Wild Bill Karlsson line for sure. Shea Theodore, 4,000. Okay. Colin Miller is an okay punt, 3,500. On the Arizona side, I don't know. What did I just click here? Oh, whoops. That's what I clicked. Okay. I don't mind the Derek Steffen line tonight. They played good yesterday. Steffen, Perlini, and Tobias Reeder. I don't know. Vegas usually plays better at home. I know they got shut out the last time they were at home, but I think you can have exposure to Arizona tonight. I'm not really sure how they're going to react to back-to-back on the road. I think they're a bit better team than their record indicates. Yeah, I like Jason Demers. I really like Oliver Ekman-Larsson again. Goligoski for sure, 3,200. Probably Goligoski then Demers if I'm going to punt in that order. Arizona is their biggest problem this year is goaltending. So if they don't get good goaltending, obviously not going to win. But they're a much improved team, especially when Jacob Chytrin, or however you pronounce his last name, comes back. That definitely bolsts the blue line, but he's not back, so I don't know why I'm talking about it. So yeah, if I'm going to have some Arizona exposure, I don't mind Derek Steffen at his price at 4,700. I like that second line again with Keller, Domi, and Dvorak. But for me, just looking at the cost of goalies and who's really available in net, I kind of like Malcolm Subban tonight. I think Arizona on the road on back-to-back. I like to target goalies that are going against teams in that scenario. So I think Subban is in play for me. He is 7,800. It's a tad pricey, but it is $400 cheaper than Hellebuck. It is a better matchup for Subban than Hellebuck, so I think, push comes to shove, I think Subban might be my goalie tonight. Wow. What a slate. But yeah. Wedgwood, I think, just the fact that he got a shutout last night maybe bumps his ownership up a little bit. I'm not a huge back-to-back on the road goalie guy, so I think I'm going to fade him there. But if you want to use him because of recency bias and he had a shutout yesterday, and you think he can do it again, a la Tristan Yari, he almost did it, then go ahead. But for me, not a huge fan of this matchup at all. So let's move on to the last game of the night. We have the Dallas Stars traveling to Colorado to face the Avs. It's going to be Jonathan Bernier against Kari Lehtinen. Kari letting them in. Dallas is on a back-to-back. They went to a shootout last night, I think, right? Or lost in overtime. For me, I really like the Colorado top line tonight, especially Nathan MacKinnon. I think he... Shootout, yeah. I think McKinnon and Sagan are some of the top centers on the board tonight. McKinnon is Sven Andrighetto back on the top line, or is it still Nail Yakupov? I don't even know because I don't think the Avalanche have beat writers because why would anyone want to cover that team? Either way, I like that top line tonight. I like Kerfoot because of the power play. It's Confer. That's not bad. I like JT Confer. It looks like Yakupov. So now we're getting conflicting stuff. So hopefully they tweet out lines before the game. Yeah, that's probably why they only... I don't even know. If I find some lines, I'll tweet them out. But I don't mind the mini of McKinnon, Mikko Rantanen, and Tyson Barrie. You want to use Eric Johnson. He's fine as well. Yeah, Brock will post it in the premium chat for sure. Samuel Girard, it's Confer. Okay. Samuel Girard at 3,400 is a decent punt. On the Dallas side, I want the top line. They're expensive. I know they're on the road on the back-to-back, but it is Jonathan Bernier after all, and it is the Avs. I think you can go back to the top line here. The legend of Radek Faksa grows. He has 10 goals this season. He scored again last night. I don't know if you want to keep chasing points with him. Forsberg's confirmed, so he's going back-to-back. That is... Sunday NHL was pretty brutal. It doesn't really change my analysis on the Kings. I guess it makes it about the same. You know, Forsberg on a back-to-back, or JF Parouve making his season debut. I mean, I guess it's about the same for me. Again, Dallas top line, you can go there. I don't mind the second line again. A little contrarian option, Spezza with Janmark. You want to chase Faksa, be my guest. I'm not going to be doing it again. Klingberg, if you can fit him for Dallas. If not, Essa Lindell is a decent punt. Steven Johns is not bad as well at 3,000. In net, I don't really have too much interest in either of those games. I'm not a huge fan of Kari Lehtinen at 7,800. Push comes to shove, I'd go Malcolm Subban at that price most of the time. Bernier at 7,100, it's a little interesting to me. I think if you're not using the Stars, and you need the salary and you're using the Avs, I think you can use Bernier. I'd rather use him than, say, Mike Condon or Wedgwood. So if you need to spend down a goalie, I think Bernier would be the play. Again, that's not thrilling at all, but sometimes Dallas does kind of lull themselves to sleep and don't score. So I think you can kind of make a case for Bernier. I mean, the goalie tonight is just absolutely brutal, so I think push comes to shove, I'd go Malcolm Subban, Connor Hellebuck, and then Quick as my top three goalies tonight, and then like Bernier 4, which is horrifying. Like, that's just gross. So that is the 4-game slate. You have any questions before I log off and see how far I dropped in NFL? Yep, so it is Confer. Okay. I mean, yeah, I still like that top line. I like JT Confer. All right, guys. Well, I will be back tomorrow. Free Money Monday. Favorite line for Ottawa would be the second line for me, especially if they're going up against. Top stack would definitely be Winnipeg 1. Winnipeg 1. No, actually, no. I think the Vegas top line for me, and then Winnipeg, and then LA Kings, then Chicago, then the late game. I mean, there isn't, like, I like the offense in almost every game, but the top, like, push comes to shove, the top lines for me would be the Carlson line for Vegas, and then the two lines in Winnipeg. Yeah. I mean, almost anything's in play on short slates. Not a huge fan of any really big depth lines tonight, so. But, all right, so we'll be back tomorrow. Free Money Mondays. Good luck. Hopefully you pick the right goalie, because I think that's the key tonight, and we'll see you tomorrow. Good luck, everybody.